Gray is over. Terracotta is everywhere. Curves are back. Linen, lime wash, natural materials, texture. That's the trend report. But here's what no trend report will tell you. This isn't a trend. This is your body correcting itself. And I can prove it because the exact same shift is happening in fashion, food, furniture, home design, all at the same moment. And nobody coordinated it. So let's start with the trends. And then I'll show you what's actually underneath them. Here's where interior design is right now. Halfway through the year, the predictions from January aren't predictions anymore. They've landed. They're in the listing, the furniture launches, the renovations. Gray is gone. The cool, icy, controlled gray that defined the last decade is finally over. In its place, terracotta, warm, earthy palettes, moss green, clay, ochre, chocolate brown, colors that feel grounded and a little nostalgic. Texture is the new luxury. Lime-washed walls, slatted wood, ribbed finishes, decorative molding replacing flat painted drywall. Curves are back. Rounded sofas, soft archways, organic shapes replacing sharp, rigid lines. Natural materials with visible imperfection. Raw stone, warm mid-tone woods, aged metals. People want to see the hand of the maker now. The variation, the irregularity, the proof that a human touched it. And craft, hand-thrown ceramics, plasterwork, things made slowly. That's the trend report. That's what's in. But like I said, this isn't a trend. A trend is something that cycles out. Gray was a trend. Icy minimalism was a trend. They came, they dominated, they left. What's happening now is different. This is the collective body realizing what it actually needs. And that realization doesn't reverse. You don't unlearn that your body needs texture. You don't unfeel what a natural material does to you once you've felt it. I can tell you that with certainty because I've spent years watching what happens when bodies are given what they actually need versus what design says they should want. I've watched it in Chicago, in the jungles of Costa Rica, in 6 years of living in Bali, in the Sierra foothills, in the Texas Hill Country, wildly different cultures, climates, and budgets. And the body gravitates toward the same thing every single time. So what I'm seeing now isn't a trend arriving. It's a deficit getting answered. And that's not a cycle, that's a homecoming. And homecomings don't trend out. So everywhere I lived, in all those different places, right? The one thing that was the thread that kind of was the through line for all of it, for me anyway, was in each place that I lived, nature was the anchor, right? Even in Chicago, where you really only get to enjoy the outdoors maybe 3 months out of the year, I lived across the street from a large park, the second largest park in the whole city. And so when I looked out my window, I would see green all summer long. I would see the trees budding. I would see flowers blooming. I would see life happening. Then I moved to the jungles of Costa Rica, where everything was living. Everything was living, and there was this simplicity, this beauty in just being one with nature. So much so that, even the howler monkeys waking you up at 5 in the morning is, its own thing, but it was beautiful. It was a connection unlike anywhere else. Like, that's probably the place that I've lived that had the most life that I had to coexist with in harmony. And so living there, living in Bali, living in Northern California, all of those places, the thing that drew me to them and the thing that was present in all of them was that there was a nature element, that I was connected to the outdoors, that the houses that I lived in, there was like a, kind of a indoor-outdoor living aspect to them. And that I realize is very important to me. That is what makes me feel grounded in a place, right? It's not just the home itself. It's not the box. It's not the 4 walls and the ceiling that make me feel good. It's also the location of that box. Like, where is that house sitting and what is it sitting next to? What is surrounding it? What is the environment like, the climate like? All of that has been the through line in everywhere that I've lived. And so right now, I feel like everyone is kind of shifting into that, into wanting to feel more grounded in wherever they are. And even if they're in a major city with no greenery around them, with no nature aspect around them, bringing it into the home, bringing it into the home by bringing in plants, bringing in natural ceramics, bringing in travertine coffee table, bringing in natural elements is the way people are finding that connection to nature, that groundedness that I think is super important right now, and everyone is kind of feeling it. So the real question isn't what's trending. It's why is everyone craving the same thing at the same time? Walk into a department store right now, this summer, and there's linen everywhere. Natural fiber, breathable, imperfect at the edges. A few years ago, you wouldn't find that at a mainstream retailer. Now, it's everywhere. Bell bottoms and wide leg trousers are back. Sourdough and fermentation became near universal obsessions. People are retrofitting archways and crown molding into new construction homes by hand. They've never done it before. Nobody coordinated this. No trend report synced it all up. No single algorithm pushed linen and sourdough and limewash and archways into the culture at the exact same time. So what is actually happening? There's a concept called morphic resonance. The idea that when enough human bodies are running the same deficit, the same craving shows up across the collective simultaneously. Like a radio signal that everyone tunes into at once. Not because of a trend report, not because of an algorithm, but because the body knows. And right now, collectively, our bodies are running a very specific deficit. We have gone further in the direction of synthetic, digital, frictionless, and smooth than at any point in human history. Our screens are glass, our surfaces are polished, our interactions are mediated through devices. Our homes are built fast, sealed tight, and finished to within an inch of their lives. And the body, the same body that evolved over hundreds of thousands of years in direct contact with soil, wood, stone, fire, and irregular texture of the living world, is sending a very clear signal. Enough. That's not a design preference, that's a biological correction. And it's happening in every category at once because it's coming from the same place, the human body hitting the edge of what it can tolerate in synthetic space. And let me just say, I'm loving this. I'm loving what's happening in the world collectively. I'm loving the idea of that morphic resonance, that we're all kind of feeling like, you know what? I feel like things have shifted a little too away from me, away from my center, away from alignment to the earth's frequencies, alignment to what I need to feel good within myself, right? And so seeing natural fibers everywhere, like going to stores and seeing all these things coming out right now is just clearly telling me what we're all looking for right now. It's beautiful where we're heading. I feel like we are finally like tapping in, so to speak, right? We're tapping into what our bodies and our biology actually needs to feel healthy and to thrive. Look at every major design cycle of the last 100 years, and you'll see the same thing, the body correcting. Ornate Victorian excess gives way to clean modernism. The body needed relief. Modernism gets pushed to cold mid-century minimalism. The body recoils. The 1970s swing back to warmth. Macrame, earth tones, plants, woven everything, correcting again. Look at one material to see how undeniable this is. Wood paneling, warm textured everywhere in the 1970s. Then the correction came and we tore it all out, painted it white, called it dated, couldn't get rid of it fast enough. For 30 years, wood paneling was the punchline of every home renovation show. And now, slatted wood paneling is one of the single biggest design features of the year. The exact thing we ripped out, coming back because the body that needed to escape it in 1995 is the same body that's starving for it now. The material didn't change, the deficit did. The 1980s and the 90s pushed toward polish and shine. Then the 2000s and 2010s strip it all down to sleek, white, flat, seamless, open plan boxes, gray everything, surfaces with nothing for the eye to hold on to. And now here we are. The body has overcorrected so far towards synthetic that the pullback toward the raw and the real is happening everywhere at once. But here's the difference this time. Every previous swing was just an aesthetic preference, reacting against the last one. This time, the correction is happening at the exact moment our entire world is going digital and synthetic at a pace humans have never experienced. AI, screens, virtual everything, the most frictionless, dematerialized era in human history. And the harder the world pushes towards synthetic, the harder the body pulls back toward the real. We could build the full Jetsons future right now. Automated, synthetic everything, smooth on demand, and almost nobody actually wants to live in it. That tells you everything. The body doesn't want the future. The body wants what it recognizes. Wood, stone, light, living things. You cannot take the human animal that far from nature without nature pulling it back. So what does this mean for you in your actual home? It means that when you feel pulled toward a plant, a woven basket, a piece of rough-edged stone, a vintage rug that shows its age, that's not a personal quirk. It's not you following a trend. That's a collective biological signal moving through you. You're tuning into something millions of other bodies are tuning into at the same moment. There's a reason sourdough became a universal obsession during lockdown. People who'd never baked suddenly needed to put their hands into something alive and fermenting and real. There's a reason that at the exact same moment across the entire world, people started pulling texture and warmth and craft back into their homes. Something in the collective field, the larger pattern of what we're all craving, is asking for a correction. And your home is the most important place where that correction can actually happen, because the home is where the body finally stops performing, stops being on guard. The home is where the body comes to rest. And if the place where you're supposed to rest runs the same synthetic frequency as the screen, the office, the car, and the city, then there's nowhere for the body to land. The correction has to happen somewhere. The home is the most intimate, most controllable place where you get to answer what your body has been asking for. This is what somatic design actually is. It's not designing for your nervous system in isolation. It's not just adding plants and shears and handmade ceramics because they're trending. It's reading that larger pattern and building spaces that answer it. It's understanding that when you walk into a home that's truly alive, texture, depth, natural materials, things that grow and change, your body isn't just reacting to that space. It's being answered. Something in you that's been running a deficit finally gets met. And in a world moving faster, more synthetic, more frictionless by the day, a home like that becomes more than a home. It becomes a tuning fork. A place that holds a frequency the rest of the world is forgetting how to produce. That's not following a trend. That's not even interior design. That's a practice. And it's the most grounding, necessary practice I know of for the world we're actually living in right now. The trends will keep getting reported. Terracotta this year, something else next. But underneath the trend reports, the real story isn't changing. The body is. The body is correcting, and it's not going to stop because it's finally remembering what it needs. The link is in the description. The Somatic Space Guide. It was built exactly for this moment, because before you can answer what your body's asking for, you have to understand what frequency your own space is currently running. What is it asking your body to do? What is it giving you? What is it withholding? That's where it starts. The link is below. And subscribe, because this is the framework everything else on this channel builds from. Every video, every method comes back to this. Your home is not separate from what your body needs. It's the most direct answer to it, and you get to choose what it's transmitting.